What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Spool Boy, and it is week 8 of the Bbdl. This is the last week of the regular season. We do need to win this game in order to secure a playoff spot, but if we do lose it, we still have a chance to make it in. It depends how the other games shake out. And hello, I am recording this from like a month and a half in the future. So I kind of already know the results of this game and whether or not we make it to playoffs, but I will kind of keep that all under wraps until the very end. So this week our opponent is new. He has a 100% dedicated rain team, which historically I do not do well against weather. I play pretty poorly into weather. I just have never really had a good way to counter it. I don't know. I've just always had trouble countering it. So I'm not really too confident going into this game just because it is a weather team, and although it is mainly water type Pokemon, so I should have a pretty decent chance at playing against it. I still just, it's weather. So he does lead off with the Pelipper and the Iron Jugulis, and I lead off with the Gyarados and the Hariyama. I do want to get off a fake out with my Hariyama, and I was hoping to catch maybe some physical attackers coming in to intimidate, but unfortunately let off with 2 special attackers, so no intimidates can go off there. I am going to taunt the Pelipper here because I don't want the Pelipper clicking protect against my team. I do want to try and get rid of this Pelipper as quick as possible to get rid of to maybe be able to outlast the rain. I'm assuming it is Drizzle. Well, I know it's Drizzle, but I'm assuming it's got Wet Rock, which makes the rain last for, I believe, 7 turns. So I do just go for the taunt on it to hopefully get rid of it as quickly as possible. And yeah, I kind of forgot about Hurricane being 100% accurate in the rain, to be quite honest. So I do just kind of eat Hurricanes. But we do get the Revelation Dance off because thankfully Oricorio, if it has nothing, it's got its speed. So I do end up getting the knockout, and we get flinched on the Gyarados, which is, I mean, it sucks. But I mean, was a Thunder Wave going to save us? I don't really know. Probably not. So I do just opt to protect the Oricorio just to kind of scout, see what he wants to go for. And he does reveal that he is Terra Ice on the Floatzel. And I do want to try and get this thing paralyzed because it is very fast in the rain. So if I can lower its speed at all and maybe Oricorio can outspeed, that would be ideal. But we'll see if the Thunder Wave hits here. I do go for the Hurricane. Hurricane does connect, is a crit. So it does a decent amount of damage. It does way more than a decent. It does a ton of damage to me, and I get confused. Which pops our Citrus? Yeah, our Citrus Berry. So we have to break through Confusion here and then also hit Thunder Wave, which luckily we break through Confusion and we hit the 95% accurate Thunder Wave on the Floatzel. So yeah, it's going to lower the Floatzel's speed. But I'm still not 100% sure if I'm even faster than it in the first place. But I do decide to go for Terra Electric Revelation Dance, I believe. Maybe not. No. Never mind. I don't know what I do. Yeah, I was thinking, I brought Oricorio because I was like, oh man, Oricorio is going to be really good into this matchup. it's an electric type against a bunch of water types. Like, this Pokemon's going to pop off. And it knocked Pelipper out, so I was half right. But I do go for the Protect just to kind of try to preserve my Gyarados for as long as I can. And the Protect does go off. We do break through the confusion one more time. The Iron Jugulus goes for the Hurricane onto the Gyarados, which doesn't hit because I protected, and the Ice Spinner does go into the Oricorio. Now, I don't think using my Terra there would have even allowed me to live, just because Oricorio is so frail, and I am just max speed, max special attack on it just to try and knock out as many Pokemon in one hit as I possibly can. And this week I did bring the Terragrass, which I was like, oh man, that's such a good idea. Terragrass is so good into this team. They're all water Pokemon. But when I was doing that, I wasn't thinking about Hurricane, which is 100% accurate and super effective against grass types. And also ice moves, which a lot of water Pokemon get. So when it came to prepping for this game, I did not do my due diligence, and it's really showing right now because I'm just kind of getting steamrolled by all these Pokemon clicking moves against me, and my Terra types are wrong. So yeah, he does go for the Hurricane, which does one hit knock me out because I am fully physically defensive this week to try and Rage Powder and get off some Flame Body burns onto these more physical mons that he has. So we do get the full para on the Floatzel there. Not that it really matters because this game is very much over. Because this he's got 3 mons to my 1, and my Pokemon probably can't even take a what's it called? A Hurricane right now from the Iron Jugulus, and I have to choose between which Pokemon I want to knock out. I'm checking rain turns here for whatever reason. At this point, the rain doesn't matter. Oh, I know why I was checking. I was double checking to make sure that the Pelipper was Damp Rock, which it was. Checking that, I could see that it lasted for 8 turns. Earlier I said 7 and I was wrong. It's 8. The rain still had 3 more turns, so it should have been up by now if it wasn't. So yeah, he takes a clean game 1, like not even close. We just get absolutely stomped out there. So I've got to kind of come up with a better strategy for game 2. With the Pokemon that I brought and the Terra types on some of my Pokemon, it's kind of limiting, and I feel like I do need to bring my Volcarona just for the chance to get some burns. Oricorio is really frail, and it being outsped by the 3 Swift Swim mons that he's got on his team really does make me not want to bring Oricorio. I think if I would have brought, like, what's that? The Choice Scarf on it, I think it would have been much better. I think Choice Scarf, Terra Electric, Revelation Dance would have actually put in some work. But I was trying to squeeze Tailwind on my team, and I didn't want to bring it on Volcarona, so I tried to bring it on Oricorio, which deterred me from using a choice item. So this game, I am going to completely change it up. I am going to bring Rillaboom and Farigiraf, just because my Farigiraf, I think, is Terra Electric with Thunderbolt or Thunder. I think it's Thunder, because of course, looking at his team, I was expecting rain, so I'm like, oh yeah, Thunder's always gonna hit. It's gonna do massive damage. So here leads off with the Pelipper and the Overquill. Now, we don't see Intimidate come out from the Overquill, so we know it's Swift Swim. Highly doubt it was Poison Point. So here, I do just decide to go for the Terra Electric Thunder just right off the bat. I want to get rid of this Pelipper as fast as possible because this Pelipper is a pain with the 100% accurate hurricanes that it's going to be throwing out. And I really don't feel too threatened by the Overquill. Really what the Overquill could do, it could go for a poison move onto my Rillaboom, or it could go for a dark move onto my my Farigiraf. And if it decided to go for either of those, I think both my Pokemon would live that, but he does decide to go for the Swords Dance, which is a little scary, but I am at least taking the knockout here onto this Pelipper, which in my mind was enemy number one. It was the one to get rid of every game, just because if I somehow outlast the rain, I'm in a good spot to kind of deal with his team. So I do just decide to go for the Protect here on my Farigiraf. I've kind of put everything that I have into my Farigiraf with the turn 1 Terra, so I want to keep it alive as long as possible, and I want to lower the Overquill's attack stat now that it's got a +2 boost. So I am just going to swap out the Rillaboom into my Gyarados to get an Intimidate off, so then it'll at least only be +1, which is still scary, but it's not nearly as scary as obviously +2. So we do swap in here, we get our Intimidate off, and he does Terra. I believe, I could very well be wrong, but I believe it's Terra Fairy Overquill. Yeah, it's Terra Fairy Overquill. I guess to deal with maybe Hariyama. I don't know. It's a really good Terra type anyway, defensively. He does go for the Terra Blast into the Farigiraf, but we do protect. We do take a Hurricane on the Gyarados, and like I said, I'm kind of putting all of my stock into my Farigiraf here, so I am going to go for a Thunder. I kind of have to go for these quick knockouts just because with 8 turns of rain, it's really hard to stall out, especially when I only have so many Pokemon in the back that I can sack off. So I do like the idea of kind of going for flinches or getting paralysis off on a lot of these mons. He does go for the Gunk Shot, which does land, does decent amount, but he doesn't double up into me, which is good, because that means my Farigiraf lives one more turn. And I am going to be able to get off this Thunder, along with a Waterfall from the Gyarados. Now, it does half to the Overquill, and we do get a crit with the Thunder there, but unless he was very especially defensive, I don't think the crit really mattered much, because that's oh no, I'm not going to embarrass myself and try and do math in the middle of this commentation, so I'm not going to do it. But with this, I do go for the double protect. I am trying to stall out as many turns as this rain as I can. So this, I think, will knock it down to 4 more turns of rain. Does that sound right? 4? Yeah, I think there's 4 more turns of rain after this. So, and we are getting a little bit of HP back from the grassy terrain that was set up by Rillaboom. So we're not kind of, at least we're not doing nothing by clicking protect. We're at least getting some HP back, which could further our survivability down the line. At this point, I do decide to once again preserve my Photograph for as long as possible, so I am going to swap it out and put the Rillaboom in its spot. And I'm just going to go for the Waterfall into the Floatzel to get as much damage on it as possible. I'm really not all too concerned with the Iron Jugulis, just because if rain does go away, I am going to be able to, I think I'll have a much better shot against the Iron Jugulis just because it won't have 100% accurate Hurricanes. So I do just decide to paralyze the Floatzel, just hoping that I can get some full paralysis off to hopefully give me a chance. And he does protect the Floatzel there. So I go for the fake out into the Iron Jugulis and Waterfall into Floatzel. And since he protected, obviously I don't get a hit off. And yeah, that's a whole lot of nothing of a turn. Unfortunately, we did swap in when Grassy Terrain was up, so Grassy Terrain isn't going to come back up here unless I swap out my Rillaboom and bring it back in. But I don't know if that's really all that necessary. Just because Woodhammer is a very powerful move in of itself outside of the Grassy Terrain. And we know that he doesn't have a Terra anymore, so I don't have to worry about the Floatzel turning into an Ice type. So no matter what, it's going to take super effective damage from this Woodhammer that would come out. And I am just going to swap out Rillaboom here. I kind of want to save both Rillaboom and Gyarados because I want to be able to Intimidate Cycle with my Gyarados. And Rillaboom is going to do really well outside of the rain and with Grassy Terrain up into his team. So I am just bringing in these two, fully 100% expecting them just to turn in, just for it to be a sack here. And that's pretty much what it turns out to be. Oricorio goes down one hit. It's a crit. I don't think the crit really mattered. Oricorio is a very frail Pokemon. And even if it wasn't a crit, it would have just turned into a double knockout the next turn anyway. And I think I honestly might have preferred the double knockout just to get a clean swap into both Gyarados and Rillaboom on the same turn. But now I'm kind of stuck in this weird spot where I can't really get much done on this turn, so I just decided to double protect to stall out another turn of the rain. And he does just go on the offensive here. Goes for the Hurricane and gets the full para, but I could have assumed that was probably an Ice Spinner or something along the lines. And with that, rain is now gone, so I don't really feel confident clicking Thunder with the Farigiraf just in case it misses. And also I don't really expect Farigiraf to live. So I'm just going to go for the Thunder Wave in case for some reason it does live, and just double up into this Iron Jugulis because outside of the rain, I think Floatzel is not nearly as scary as it is in the rain. It loses a power boost to its water moves, and it also loses its speed boost. But it does get full parried there. The Ice Spinner, I don't think would have been enough to take out Gyarados, because I do believe it is -1 right now. So I think Gyarados probably would have barely lived it. But with Farigiraf going down, we do get the swap out into Rillaboom. And I am just going to fake out the Floatzel because there's no more rain. So I'm hoping that the Hurricanes just don't hit. or it's either Hurricane misses or I get a full para. And I kind of put all my stock in Hurricane missing just because I think it was a little more in my favor. So we do just go for the knockout here onto the Pokemon that's in front of me, Iron Jugulus, with the knockoff, just in case for some reason he wanted to swap it out. It would hit whatever he's got in the back. And we do see the heavy duty boots, which I found interesting because I don't even know if my team has hazards, but hazards really isn't a thing for doubles. So I was a little confused by that, but I mean, it's working. So he does get full paired. I think that was 3 turns in a row he got full paired with the Floatzel. And with that, I mean, there's, even with protects and all that, he's kind of in a position where he can't really bring this one back. So we do end up winning game 2, and that is going to bring it to a game 3. So I surprised myself. I took 1 win against a weather team, which is incredibly unexpected because weather teams are the bane of my existence. I think I might try and run some weather teams because they have a very, I feel like the play style is very predictable, but it's so strong and so hard to play against even when you know what's coming, at least in my opinion, that I don't know, it's just good. There's a reason that they're popular archetypes because it just works no matter what. So for this game, after realizing my blunder of making Grass Terra Volcarona, I don't have the confidence to bring Volcarona with me into any game, and I also don't really want to bring Oricorio because Oricorio has just been kind of a mon that I'm just kind of sacking off every single game, and I feel like that slot is better used for literally anything else on my team that's gonna, I don't know, maybe take a hit or like deal out some damage. Oricorio had its time to shine in that one game where it got its singular knockout, and I think it's time for Oricorio to retire after that one. So we're going to lead off with the Hariyama and the Rillaboom here. Now, I do have Fake Out on both these mons, so I am just going to go for the double Fake Out to get chip on these guys and waste a turn of Hurricane. Or waste a turn of Hurricane. Waste a turn of Rain. So, after seeing the last game, I'm fairly confident that if I can just stall at the Rain, I actually have a pretty decent chance of winning. I did have a lot of hacks go in my favor in the last game with a lot of paras on the Floatzel and a lot of Hurricane misses. But I do feel that I have a decent chance if I'm just able to keep my mons alive and just outlive this Rain. So we just go the double Fake Out. It does give me the burn on my Hariyama, which allows me to deal more damage because of my Guts ability, and I do Terrasilize into the Dragon type. I want to bring something for Hariyama that would let it resist water and also not be weak to like the flying and all that kind of stuff. And Terra Dragon is kind of what I came out with. Honestly, I probably could have gone like Terra Steel. Well, then I wouldn't have resisted water. And I wasn't really factoring Hurricane into this when I was building for this team. So I am just kind of swinging for knockouts here, hoping for the best. We don't get the knockout on the the Iron Jugulus there, but we do get a lot of chip damage off on it, and we see that a Hurricane does I think it was 50%, over 50%. So I don't really want to take a double up Hurricane or anything like that. They do go for the Dragon Pulse, which we are going to take with the Farigiraf. That would have been super effective against my Hariyama, but since we swapped it out, we don't have to worry about that. And I do go for the Paralysis on the Pelipper there, just to hopefully not get hit by Hurricane. This game really does just boil down to don't get hit by Hurricane and try to outlive the rain, because I didn't bring anything to counter the rain. I honestly should have brought a weather move on my Gyarados. Probably Sunny Day, because Gyarados is living a lot of these hits, and Sunny Day is going to ruin the accuracy of Hurricane and lower the damage of the water moves that these Pokemon are throwing out. And honestly, my best option was to, I think, play for my own weather. Even if that meant that they were going to swap Pelipper in and out. Just being able to click Sunny Day if I need it, or if I get the knockout on Pelipper like I did in the first two games, and just immediately get rid of that rain, I think would have made these games a lot easier for me. And I mean, the only Mon that Sunny Day really hurts on my team is Gyarados, but I didn't really bring Gyarados for the damage that it's going to do with Waterfall. I brought it for the flinch chances of Waterfall. So they are going to go for the Wave Crash here. It is going to be a clean one-hit knockout on my Farigiraf. I think Farigiraf was modest, full HP, full special attack, so in the rain, there's no way you're living that, especially with a Life Orb. And here, I'm feeling pretty confident to bring back out my Rillaboom, just because I know that this Floatzel's got Ice Spinner, but I also have the move that makes him flinch, the Fake Out. I have Fake Out. So I know I can probably go for the Fake Out onto this Floatzel. I do go for the Paralysis on the Basculegion, but they do swap out into the Pelipper, which is already paralyzed, so Paralysis isn't going to do anything. They do protect the Floatzel, calling that I'm going to try and Fake Out that slot, because I can't Fake Out Basculegion because it's a it is a Ghost type. That's what it is. It's a Ghost type. So I feel like my best move here is just to kind of go for some safe plays. Luckily, Ice Spinner does a little under half, but it does get rid of my Grassy Terrain, which sucks, and that's going to lower my damage a lot. And we do get a crit there on the Floatzel with the knockoff, and I do believe that crit did matter. I think that crit 100% was the reason I knocked out that Floatzel there. So they do go for the Hurricane. They knock out my Rillaboom, and I'm kind of just down to both Hariyama and my Gyarados here. But my Hariyama does still have access to the Fake Out for this turn, so I am going to be able to Fake Out that Pelipper to have a one more turn where I don't have to worry about getting Hurricaned. And at this point, I don't really know how many turns of rain are left. I haven't been counting as I've been commentating this. But I do decide to go for the knockoff. I don't even Fake Out because I do kind of expect the Pelipper to protect, calling that there's going to be a Fake Out. So instead I go for the knockoff onto the Basket Legion, hoping for the best. It does go for Last Respects, which is like I think 150 base right now, which is more than enough to knock me out. And it is holding the Expert Belt, and we get hit with an Ice Beam from the Pelipper. Now, because the rain is stopped, I do... Nope, I don't outspeed anything. At this point, it's hoping for like a misplay or something, and I'm able to get Drain Punch off. But nope, he just goes for the Octave Jet, which is enough to knock out the Hariyama, and that is it for Week 8. Now, I do already know I did make playoffs even after this loss, so we will continue in Week 1 of the playoffs. So look forward to that. Thanks for watching.